Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Arithmetic is a lens into reality that is really easy to kind of get wrong. Um, and a lot of the ways that you can get it wrong is to think that it's simply um, using sort of math to explain stuff. Um, and while it's certainly useful to explain things with math and the operations of arithmetic, when we talk about our behavior as men, as Masons, one of the big things that becomes obvious is that we don't, in the process of our sort of everyday lives, often get to an arithmetic level of understanding of the way things work. So, if you work with the concepts in Freemasonry in general, the broad moving pieces, the small little details, you'll find that there is a lot of wiggle room. There's a lot of like just ambiguity and space for things to get kind of messed up, and you trip over some of the language, some of the words, some of the concepts. The lens of arithmetic is really about, if you sit down and think about it, it's really about precision. When we talk about um, arithmetic as a concept, it's, are we driving to a level of precision in our understanding of the way something operates? Yourself, your perspectives, your ways of working, all of those things. And until you can get to that level of sort of direct 1 + 1 = 2 kind of understanding about the mechanics in your life, your own mechanics, your own ways of working, the mechanics of the systems that you're supporting, those sort of ultra precise sort of interactions. Until you can get to that level of precision, what you end up with is a lot of like mushy feeling things. And so when you're struggling with some of the things that you are dealing with in your everyday life, driving to that level of arithmetic, level of understanding, starts to really make sense. And this, just to be clear, it differentiates a little bit from logic as a concept, which is very much uh, kind of a cause and effect understanding of the way the world works. Arithmetic really doesn't make any judgments about any of that. What it really is saying, with 1 + 1 = 2 and those kinds of sort of base assertions, is that you need to get to a definition of one, right? Once you know what one is, then you can work on 2 and 3 and 4 and all of the kind of spaces in between. It's not strictly speaking about um, getting to that object of understanding and have that objective understanding being neat per se. So it's not like saying, um, uh, to go back to the sort of mathematical analysis, right? It's not about necessarily having all of our numbers be whole round numbers. It's just about calling it what it is, right? It's about calling that reality what it is. That arithmetic level of understanding, those objective definitions of the way we think and work, um, start with some solid understandings in your life, and then all of a sudden you can start to understand the relationships, the connections between those things. And because you're not hedging about what it is you're talking about, you're better enabled to solve problems. So that is really the kind of underpinning of arithmetic as a lens into Freemasonry. Now, one of the things that's probably useful would be to go into some sort of a practical understanding. But the reality with a lot of the practical understandings in the crafts sort of across the board is that all definitions are effectively made up, right? So they're definitional to you. The transferability of those definitions are really about some different symbols we'll get to a little bit later on. So as you're driving to this arithmetic level of understanding of the world, understand that that's going to be based on your own experience as well. So the more enduring, the more lasting sort of understandings are better transferred from one mind to the other, or one heart to the other. But for now, for your work, as you kind of work through some of the symbols of the craft, really focus on making these definitions your own, making your understanding of the world and that level of concreteness yours, and then use the other tools that we've talked about last week to drive the conversation forward. See you next time.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at masonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.